a video about how one person can start a business today without a team, without investing much money, and without having extra time. It sounds strange, like loud headlines that usually leads to some scam. But behind these same words, there is actually a really cool, creative, transparent, clear, and honest opportunity. And now I will prove it to you. Hi, my name is Leslie. I'm a business coach, entrepreneur, and ambassador of the one-person business model. On this channel, I document my journey from $0 to $1 million in a one-person business so that you don't repeat my mistakes and can reach your own goals much faster. The Ukrainian Institute for the Future, yes, such an institute exists in Ukraine, predicted that in 2030, every Ukrainian will be able to easily capitalize on their skills thanks to digital technologies. Having a smartphone and internet access, everyone will have the opportunity to create a business from zero without starting capital or assets and earn income from their creative potential. If even the Ukrainian Institute for the Future sees the opportunity, then it's worth looking at it more carefully. Here are 3 reasons to watch this video until the end. First, you will understand how a hateful job slowly makes you helpless, insecure, and drop by drop destroys your life. Secondly, you will understand what real great work is, how with it you can create a business, and why having problems is actually good. And 3, you will see how obstacles can become a driving force. To create a one-person business, you need either a truly great job or a problem you have already solved. Let me start with a story. A friend of mine, an entrepreneur, told me when we were talking about Crimea, where he is from. He said, "When I was 14, I was fat, moody, depressed, and didn't want to do anything. My mom and I used to go to the sea in the summer, and I was bored with her. That summer, a windsurfing station opened on the beach where we always went. A wooden boards looked big and clumsy. For several days I just watched. Then I asked my mom to buy me a ticket. I tried it and got hooked. I met with the man who worked there, started hanging out with them, helping to fix boards and sails. We became friends and they soon offered him to work with them. Sometimes the wind blew on weekdays and they were on their other jobs. They suggested him to work at the rental on weekdays, give out boards to people, and they would split their profit 50-50. I worked the whole summer with them, and that summer shaped me. That is when I realized what real work is. Since then, I never changed my mind. Real work is when you do your favorite thing, you earn more money than your dad, and there are many pretty girls in swimsuits around you. If you also think this is a cool job, put a like. In autumn, his dad brought him to his office. He told that he walked around, looked at people sitting at the computers, and inside came a clear understanding. There is not work, it's a bullshit. And that is the first sign that such a job is a good reason to build a one-person business. Your job should be your true passion. If now you don't understand what it is for you, then your first step is to give yourself 1 hour organized free time. Follow your interest and see where it takes you. Unfortunately, in my childhood, I had a very different idea of work. It took me a lot of time to stop planning my work as a sacrifice and instead look for my zone of genius. Gay Hendricks and his book explains this well. He says that every person has their own zone of genius, something they do better than others with less effort. When I started to reflect on this, I realized that my best skill is creating problems. First of all, for myself. Genetically, I belong to the 10% of people who are innovators and seekers of new paths. This has advantages, but also a price. In the book Stealing Fire, Stephen Kotler explains that a certain percentage of people are more focused on keeping traditions while others are innovators. About 10% of people in society can be called pioneers and innovators. They are risk takers, they actively look for new ideas and want changes. They are the driving force of progress and development. Around 90% of people are more conservative. They keep traditions and stability, maintaining structures and norms. This balance allows society to both adapt to changes and preserve the structures necessary for survival. By the way, write in the comments, who are you? A pioneer like me who often creates problems while searching for new paths, or a conservative who cleans up after those pioneers? Let's see who we have more of. But the fact that I often create problems helped me to learn how to solve them well. Not to freeze, not to wait for them to disappear on their own, not to dramatize, not to look for better problems to solve, and solve them. At the same time, I learned to live with my imperfection, with external uncertainty and not to die from it. I became good at solving problems, even better than many others. And solving problems is a central idea of a one-person business. This is the old path to build around what you can make into a business. If you don't want to be a guru who makes money online by teaching others how to make money online, then first of all, you need to define a problem you are going to solve. Because earning money ethically usually means bringing some real value to others. If no one sees value in your work, no one will pay you. Start thinking about this by looking at three main areas where people have the biggest problems: health, wealth, and relationships. If you can solve problems in one of these, you can build a business. That's why you should never skip this question. What problems have you solved in your own life? Is there an area when you can now help others? It can be losing weight, learning a language, building confidence, video editing, anything. And if you have never solved any problems in your life, if you don't have anything you could teach others, then your first step is not creating a business, but solving your own problems. So now take a pen and paper. Really do it. Answer this question. What obstacles did you face in the last 5-10 years to get to where you are now? Or what important problem are you facing now that you wish someone could solve for you? Stop the video and write it down. For example, right now I am planning to enter the English-speaking market as a business coach. For me, this is a problem. I want a bigger market, but I feel insecure working in English. And I don't understand yet through what to promote myself. But I'm solving this problem step by step and documenting my journey. If I solve my own problem, then I will have authority to talk about it. So the next step is solve your own problems. The more urgent and painful the problem is, the more people will likely be ready to pay for your solution. But let's be honest. For example, I have always been in a great physical shape. I never had any problems with losing weight. Since I never solved this problem myself, I cannot help others for whom this is a real problem. That's why I believe that a person who inherited a business from their parents cannot teach others how to start a business, or a woman financed by her husband cannot teach others how to get out of debt. There are no problems they solve themselves, even if they now live with results, business or debt-free life. Maybe you think it's easier said than done, and you're right, but that means it's a perfect problem for work, because if it were too easy to solve, people wouldn't suffer from it and they wouldn't pay to fix it. So the second way to start your own one-person business is to solve a problem in one of the three areas: money, relationships, or health. You can also combine both approaches. For example, one of my friends, a creative director of an advertising agency, said that the best creative solutions appear when there are many limits. If you can do absolutely anything, creativity doesn't work. But when there are obstacles, their creativity starts. For example, if one politician has both diabetes and a sugar factory, and his opponents can use it for black PR, then it's worth finding a way to turn this into an advantage, not disadvantage. That's when creativity thinking turns on. So when you do your favorite thing and use it to solve people's problems, that's the happy combo, the rocket that can take you into the space. To move forward in this direction, we do two things. First, make time for leisure to understand what we really like. And second, start solving our own problems in one of the three areas. How to turn this into a business, we will talk about in the next video.